Well, welcome back. Let's take you right back to Durban. As I did mention, the TB conference is currently underway. Reporter Jade Paulsa is there for us, but at the moment, let's listen into what's currently taking place.
Vaccine group at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Prof. Hanekom has over 200 publications and has been awarded competitive funding by most prominent agencies. He is the previous chair of both the South African and the Federation of African Immunology Societies, and is a member of multiple international advisory committees in tuberculosis, vaccinology, and translational immunology. Please welcome to the stage your conference chair, Professor Hanekom.
So thank you very much for that very generous introduction, and I want to welcome everyone then to the 7th South African Tuberculosis Conference. But before I get on with talking about your presence here, I want to welcome a few very important people. And the reason why we are highlighting them is because it shows their commitment to tuberculosis, and we are extraordinarily lucky that we have in government, local government, in the city of eThekwini, that we actually have people that care about tuberculosis. So welcome to the Deputy Minister of the National Department of Health, Dr. Hlomo, the Deputy Minister of Basic Education, Dr. Hlole, Deputy Minister of Social Development, Dr. Bogopane Zulu, the MEC for Health in KwaZulu-Natal, Ms. Simlane, the MEC for Northwest Province Health, Mr. Sambata, the Speaker of eThekwini Metropolitan Municipality, Councillor Niawose, the Director General for Health, Dr. Buthelezi, and the MEC for Health from Mpumalanga, Ms. Manzini. So let's give them a hand of applause to welcome them. So I also want to thank you for your commitment to tuberculosis and for coming to this conference, which I think is at an extremely important time. You all know that we have more than 300,000 cases of tuberculosis in South Africa every year, and 25,000 people die from tuberculosis in South Africa every year. As if that is not bad enough, what has happened recently during the COVID epidemic is that globally in the world, the amount of people that die from tuberculosis has increased. This is after steady declines over many years in the amount of people that die from tuberculosis. So we're in a trouble at the moment, and we really need to take stock of what is happening here. And this is why we're having this conference, so we can assess exactly what is happening in the world, what is happening in South Africa, and how can we intervene to actually make a difference. And this conference, which was very ably organized by a fantastic organizing committee, which are all sitting here in the front row, so thank you very much to all of them, is really aimed at bringing all the stakeholders together, not just the scientists, not just people from government, not just people from civil society, but everyone that could play a role ultimately in making a difference in tuberculosis. We're going to focus on the latest advances and see how these could actually be applied in South Africa. I also want to upfront, other than the organizing committee, I want to specifically highlight Monica Chipeta's role in organizing this conference. Let's give Monica from FPD a big hand of applause. And then, colleagues and friends, you must have all read the news about 3 organizations that are not present here at this conference. This includes the World Health Organization, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and FIND, an organization that plays a global role in advancing diagnostics. So, and on top of it, there was an article this morning in the Daily Maverick about this, about the issues surrounding it. There's also a lot going on social media with lots of speculation of what's really happening, and even words used such as a reputational risk for South African scientists. So we as an organizing committee have decided to address this issue right up front and what had happened. So basically about 12 days ago, we heard from the World Health Organization speaker that he could not attend anymore because, and these were the words in the email from him, the conference organizers, FPD, is funded by the tobacco industry. This was a complete surprise to us, and we then tried to get more information, and it turns out that FPD has received a small amount of funding to do a study looking at the interaction of cigarette smoking and COVID-19 from a foundation that is called the Foundation for a Smoke-Free World. Long story short, it turns out that this foundation is a smokescreen, sorry to use that word, perhaps I should say front, of the tobacco industry. And so this foundation is 100% funded by Philip Morris International, a big tobacco company, and to the extent of more than $1 billion. And basically, the tobacco industry is using this foundation to gain legitimacy in the scientific world by funding studies such as what we've mentioned. I think FPD have told us that they were not aware of this issue, that this was actually a front organization for the tobacco industry. And so we discussed it with them weekend before last, and they immediately terminated the relationship with this foundation. And we brought out a press release, which you all should have received last Monday. We also alerted the leadership of the WHO about the actions taken, but unfortunately we haven't heard back from the WHO all week. And in fact, following the WHO withdrawal, both FIND and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation also withdrew. So as an organizing committee, we met and we looked at contingencies. One option was perhaps to cancel the conference or to delay it altogether. The other option, which we actually were able to secure, is alternate funding and alternate organization for this conference to take over, while this, and which would ultimately allow all these stakeholders to take part in the organization. Unfortunately, FPD did not agree to that, and that was at the very last minute. And we decided, therefore, to go forward with this conference. So I want to say up front here that we cannot allow the tobacco industry to derail this conference. We absolutely have to, from here, focus on the science. We have to focus on the community engagement. We have to focus on the policy engagement. We have to focus on all the issues that are absolutely important. We are here to save lives from tuberculosis. That is why we are here. We are here to save families from the incredible economic impact that tuberculosis may have. We are here to make sure that people who are affected by tuberculosis have dignity. We are here because there are advances in the tuberculosis world, new drugs, new diagnostics, hopefully new vaccines, that we urgently need to apply in South Africa to make a difference. We cannot afford as a country to have 25,000 people die from tuberculosis every year. So that's why we are here. So let's put that tobacco issue aside and let's focus on the issue at hand here. So what I would like to say to you, this is a very serious matter, but let's have some fun. We've we have purposefully scheduled the meeting or designed a meeting that has long breaks so that you can interact, because that's really where where all the real progress happens, not at the sessions, but in between the sessions. We have poster sessions, for example, where there are drinks for you to enjoy so that we can socialize. I think this is going to be incredible fun. So thank you very much for attending, and I hope this is going to be a conference that's actually going to aim to make a difference within South Africa. So it's my pleasure then to introduce the first person that's going to come up here after me, and that is Councillor Tabani Nyawosi, who's a speaker from the eThekwini municipality. I'm not sure if his CV is showing yet, but everyone has long CVs. And I'm just going to highlight the one thing that impressed me is that he was the president of the UKZN SRC. But of course, there's a long list.
All right, let's come out of that. We'll certainly take you back in the next hour. We'll go back to that TB conference that's in Durban.